Hey guys, the bee boys are back and we're super excited today. Why is that, Ben?
Got the call. Today's the day we go pick up our bees, implement them in the new hive, and get them started building out their new home.
Let's do it.
Now that we got the bees home, time for the next steps.
And those next steps are opening up the bee packages, taking out the queen, installing her in the hive, and then dumping the bees on top of the queen. We're ready. Okay, so now we're going to implement the bees. We've got our boxes ready, we've got a smoker, we've got all the wood shavings for the smoker in order to make clean smoke to calm down the bees. They're ready to go. Let's go to the roof. All right, now we got to use the hive tools to pry open the packages. We're going to pop these lids off right here. And once we get the lids popped off, it's going to reveal the feeders, which are these little silver cans that you're looking at. And these silver cans have sugar syrup in them to sustain the bees during transit. So we're going to get rid of this, and then we're going to remove the queen cage from the package, and that's what I'm doing right there with that little black strap. And this is the queen cage, and you see that there's a lot of bees that are grouped around the queen cage because they can sense her pheromones, and they're still figuring it out and getting accustomed to her. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to pop off the cork on the end of the queen cage, and underneath that cork is candy that the bees will eat through and then eventually let the queen out. And I'm gonna pop open the cork here, and that's off. Now we're gonna put the queen cage in the center of that frame, stick it in the hive, and then start dumping bees on top of the queen cage. And here we go. We just need to get them out of the box, which can be tricky. And it can, of course, irritate them, but you're not going to get them all out, so we're just going to go ahead and put that bee box, or I should say that package, right down there.
Yeah, but we need to...
And now you'll see us arrange these frames rather poorly. Thank you. All right, now that we've got the bees in the hives, what's next, Ben?
I think we got to feed them. It's early in the season. Bees don't have much to forage on, so we're going to have to provide them something to sustain themselves with and also to build out the comb. Just not sure what to feed them.
I think I got an answer for that. Sugar syrup. I'm going to show you how we make it. All right, so we're making bee syrup right now. Or the sugar syrup, and it calls for a 1-to-1 ratio of water to syrup, or water to sugar. So meaning 1 pound of water per 1 pound of sugar. And that should feed the bees.
As we fill our feeder, I would like to take an opportunity to discuss with you the different types of feeders that are available for these boxes. First is the in-hive feeder, which takes the place of 1 to 2 frames inside the hive to hold the sugar syrup. Next would be an inverted mason jar that has small holes pierced inside the lid. The jar is then placed atop the inner cover.
Should be good for now. Yep.
There are 2 other types of feeders utilized by the beekeeping community. The first being the Boardman feeder. This feeder also utilizes a mason jar, although this jar is placed outside the hive. Not an ideal setup because it requires the bees to break cluster and could also potentially attract other insects. What you see here is the top feeder being utilized. This has the same dimensions as the hive box and rests atop the frames. The bees are able to access the syrup through the opening in the center.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, everyone. So today we picked up the bees, we installed them in the hives, and fed the bees and got them ready for the season. I'm excited.
Me too. Next episode, we'll be performing our first bee inspection. Come check it out.
Can't wait.